presence here of Marianne Montero, who's from the Riverdale Presbyterian Church. And last and not least, a person of many hats, Rabbi Bob Kaplan of, among other things, the Jewish Community Relations Council.
Thank you so much. And I really want to thank the elected officials and the community leaders for coming together. I'm spending far too much of my time lately, in a horrible way, it's having to go to gatherings like this. Last week in Chinatown for the young woman that was murdered. A few days before that in Dag Hammarskjöld Plaza for a Korean diplomat that was punched in the head, as mentioned before. The anti-Semitic graffiti in Queens and in Brooklyn, and people being punched in the head. For some reason, and I've been doing this for a long time, hate has become acceptable as a problem-solving process in our society. And we simply have to end that acceptability. We have to say once and for all, hate is simply unacceptable. I have a neat suspicion we're never going to quite get rid of it, but we have to push it back underneath the rock. And we have to do that, as mentioned by the previous speakers, certainly educating our youth, because they're dreaming about a future. They're dreaming the new American dream. And frankly, this nightmare of hate has no place in our American dream. Just no place. So dedicating ourselves to work with young people so that they know how to work with one another and lend dignity to the other in society and see the other as a helpmate in building a better society for all is our ultimate and our incredible responsibility. And I'm glad that we're going to rise to that occasion, because it needs to be ongoing and upward. The other day, we honored the borough president for the MLK Award at the Richard Escudero School in the South Bronx, and they gave me this incredible pin. I'm going to wear this pin for a while. It says, "Celebrate diversity." Well, we've got to celebrate it. We've got to celebrate it and not see it as something dangerous to our present and future. And these young people in that school are doing just that. As the borough president mentioned, this is Black History Month. It is particularly heinous that this happened during this month, but that's a quirk of timing, because it's there all the time. But just last night I was watching Selma. It was on the Turner Channel, and I've seen it many times. But when Dr. King and the people that stood with him, from inside the community, outside, the All-Americans, stood with him and crossed that bridge, it was a great moment in our history, but we got a lot more bridges to cross. We think because one bridge was crossed, all bridges have been crossed. Not only do we have to cross the bridge, we got to build bridges. And in a community like this, and just happen to live in this community as well, it's an incredible time, an incredible responsibility, and as mentioned before, a real teachable opportunity for us to build those bridges for our present and the future. So again, thank you, and we're going to keep moving this forward.
Thank you, Rabbi. I have lived in the Bronx all of my life. We don't put up with this in my neighborhood. We don't put up with this in any neighborhood in the Bronx, and I'm so grateful that we've come together to say that, but I think you're right. What we say now has to be followed up by actions afterwards. This is a great community, and we reject this. I'm not going to go on any further. I'm sure we could all talk endlessly because we have so much to say, but if there are any questions for any of us, we'd be happy to take